You know, when you learn, you know, that the war on God has been going for a long time, and also the war on our DNA, but yet they are harvesting God DNA. You know what I'm saying? If God is not the maker of the universe, why are you harvesting something you're not entitled to and it's not that exceptionally great, right? What God have created, if it's not that great, then why are you denying the creator the respect that the creator deserve for creating? Yet they'll take, our DNA or God DNA and harvest it, or DNA editing or splicing of a creation that someone else have created. And then you say God is dead, you say God doesn't exist, God is a manifestation of our own consciousness. You know what I'm saying? They say stuff like that. You go online, you go on YouTube, and people are saying stuff like that. Okay, YouTube is not really our, God's, friend. They are not. YouTube is not aligning with God in any shape or form. And YouTube is run by demons, and literally, these people are who are anti-God, you know. And if you notice, if you go online and you go on YouTube, you'll find a war on God exist on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And silencing people from silencing people all the time. Every time you want to speak about God, or you want to, they will block your channel from getting any traffic. You understand? Because they can do that from, you know, they can go in, in coding in the back and programming to block you. And now they have AI, they do it automatically. You know what I'm saying? So there's some channels that don't get any traffic because they align themselves with God. And they're always silencing people. They're taking freedom. They're taking freedom from people. They're taking, God-given freedoms. And yeah. So my question is, if you're saying God is dead, God doesn't exist, then why are you taking a DNA you have not created? They are fighting for our DNA. They are fighting for our creation. You know what I'm saying? And they know. Okay, if they're not sure whose God is or whatnot, I would tell you they are gullible, give them a break. They do not know, they're naive, whatever. But they know whose God is. They hid God from humanity. And they gave you like some false God to worship. And that's what's going on. That was when you understand how the game is played. These people literally will wage a war on you because you are not really, you are a sovereign being, and they are a sovereign being, and they do not like that. They want, since the inception, since we lived in this planet, slowly but surely, all the time, they've been, stripping people from freedoms. You know what I'm saying? They have gatekeepers. They have, what do you call those ones? The one, controllers and whatever they are, They have people who would put in place to control you, or to to report to them, you know? Because, okay, I'll tell you a story. This is a true story. When I used to care about their dreams, they they had this friend of mine who I'm no longer friends with. And they brought this friend in a dream, and he tells me in a dream, "Oh, why did you block me? Why are you no longer my friend?" Something like that. You know what it is? They always put somebody who worked for them in your life, you know? And every time you know, tell that person, a friend of yours, you think he's a friend, that person, she or he, then that person will go and report to them, you know? So that's why I told you guys to get rid of people, you know? It's all about control. It's all about stripping people, humanity, from freedoms that God given. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's what's going on. They are constantly looking for ways to strip humanity from our, freedoms, and all these freedoms are only given to them. Do you know that some people who running the show in this earth, they don't pay taxes? Did you know that? Why we have to pay taxes, and yet they don't pay a dime? Okay? Why humanity have to pay taxes when these people, they're not paying? You know, lead by example. You expect people to pay taxes, you pay taxes too. But no. Taxes are made for us. I don't believe in paying, taxes were not justified. Why would, some people, pay $1,700 in a $1 billion revenue? Tell me why. Why would some people pay that? Does that make sense to you? Is that fair? That an average person pay taxes, more taxes than the rich and the wealthy? Why? So the system is rigged. The system is broken. And the system is against God. The same God that are stealing his DNA and splicing it, cloning it, whatever. You know what I'm saying? The same God they do not respect. The same God who does not want to oppress people. The same God who he has a lot of love for humanity. He did not create humanity as a slave race. You know? Yes, we've been tested in life. This planet is a testing ground. It's a school for testing ground. You know what I'm saying? Because when we were born, Adam and Eve were created in Eden. They failed the test. That's why we're here. So now heaven became a place is very difficult to get to. Because there's our forefathers, some mother, whatever, failed the test. And so anyhow, they have done, I believe Adam and Eve, they've done more than, that is not aligning with God's vision or whatnot. That's why we're in this big circle. We are in the revolving door, with no way out, But anyhow, that's what I'm thinking, guys. So the war on your DNA is been for a long time. Look, all these diseases that have created to impact you, to shorten your life. Oh, look, all this food is being poisoned, air, water, all of that. If it's not a war on God, what is it? If it's not a war on God, what is it? Can somebody explain to me if this is not a war on God? If it's not, I have no idea. I just can't wrap my head around it.